What is up, guys? We are finally almost done with our withdrawal from the UFC. And obviously, today is Monday, and I do not have a fight to review, unfortunately. But I still got a packed show for you guys. I got predictions for 2023's champs. So, why don't you guys stay tuned to check out what I think?
Honestly,
That is a degenerate.
Which is fun, but you got to be ready for that.
But it's no.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Fist First. As always, I am your host, Steve, and today I'm going to be running solo again. But, guys, we got a packed show for you. I got my predictions for the 2023 end of the year champs. We're going to go on DraftKings for that, try to make you guys some money on that too. But before we do that, as always, we're going to start here with some UFC news. And the first bit of news here is not going to lie, it's a little bit concerning for the UFC. So, as heard recently, Shane Burgos was a pretty pretty good up and comer in the UFC. Very exciting fighter to watch. The UFC eventually lets him get bought out in a way, and Shane Burgos goes and signs with the Professional Fighting League, the PFL. And we've seen a lot of fighters move to the PFL from the UFC recently. Names just I have listed here. I got Shane Burgos, Aspen Ladd, Thiago Santos, Marlon Moraes, Anthony Pettis. All these big names almost are moving to the PFL, which is kind of concerning. So that brings up a point here: is this concerning for the UFC? Is it concerning that they're losing a lot of fighters, and they're losing some of these fighters because, like Shane Burgos came out and said a few days ago, he's a prize fighter, he deserves to get paid more, and that's what's going to happen in the PFL. So I don't know if this is a little nod or a little chip to Dana White to start paying his fighters, but this is definitely a concerning statement made by Shane Burgos because I as a UFC fan, I do not want to see a lot of my favorite fighters move to the PFL. With that being said, and this is a statement from a UFC fan, I'm starting to lean a little bit towards the PFL. I'm starting to like that Professional Fighting League. It's got a really, really cool style. I'm not a PFL show, so I'm not going to really talk about it too much. But the Professional Fighting League is pretty interesting. It's got a pretty interesting style organization there. But I'm still going to love the UFC. But Dana White, start paying your fighters, man. It's got to happen. I don't want to see these big names start to shift over. And who knows what's going to happen in 2023. With this fighter pay, is it going to raise? I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, the UFC doesn't lose its talent. And speaking of 2023, I guess this is a little bit of a money-seeking campaign, I guess. We have 2023 starting with potentially 3 international pay-per-views. Obviously, we got that first one in January. That's going to be taking place in Brazil. And that is the Moreno-Figueiredo quadrilogy. UFC just announced that in February, they're going to be headlining a show in Australia. So, who's Alex Volkanovski fighting? Because, he's going to headline that event. And then Leon Edwards came out a couple days ago and said UFC might go to England in March for his trilogy fight with Kamaru Usman. So potentially, we have 3 international pay-per-views to start 2023. So 2023 is already looking awesome for the UFC. But like I said, please do not lose your talented fighters because of pay. Now, these next 2 things here aren't confirmed yet. But this is kind of a question that I've been asking myself because I'm looking at all these international fights, all these international pay-per-views to start next year. And then in the back of my head, I think I mentioned last show about Conor McGregor's return. If the UFC wants to make some money, How massive would it be if the UFC returned to Ireland for McGregor's return? It's probably not going to happen, but that would be a massive cash cow, if you will, for the UFC. McGregor's return in Ireland. Another potential location for the UFC looking to expand. They're potentially looking to go headline a show in Africa. You have a lot of African champs. You have a lot of African big names, top guys. So I think it's time for the UFC to potentially go to Africa. A UFC exec did say the earliest that they can go to Africa is late 2023. So, hey, maybe we're going to get that Africa card in 2023 as well. Guys, things are looking up for 2023. And I I love sticking with this 2023 topic because I'm going to be giving you guys my predictions to the champs at the end of the year of 2023. So I was going through DraftKings, looking at some UFC bets, and they just released a couple days ago. They just released new betting lines for or UFC future betting lines for the future champs. So I was like, sitting here trying to prepare for my show. I'm like, I don't have a fight to review. What am I going to do? So I'm going to break down what I think is going to happen in 2023. If I can nail this on the head, guys, that would be pretty incredible. But I got some picks for future champs. I got some value picks. We're going to pull up DraftKings and try to make you guys some money. Obviously, your money's not going to get paid out to the end of 2023. But hey, if you guys like future bets, this is going to be the show for you. So I'm going to start off here on DraftKings. Going with the women's strawweight division. Obviously, I have that fight coming up with Carla Esparza and Weili Zhang. That's taking place in November. And as you guys can see here, Weili Zhang is the favorite here to be the champion by the end of 2023 in that women's strawweight division. I think that's a very high possibility. I said it a couple times on my past shows already. Weili Zhang is not losing to Carla Esparza in November. Guys, that fight's going to be a blowout. Weili's easily becoming the champion. But with that being said, she is not my pick for this women's strawweight division to be the champion by the end of 2023. My pick's going to Rose Namajunas. Guys, I'm a huge, huge, huge Rose fan. I think she has the talent. She's already been a champion multiple times. And here's how it's going to play out. Weili's going to win the belt in November. Rose is probably not going to get it right away. She's probably going to have to fight Zhao Nan, who just beat Mackenzie Dern. If she wins that fight against Yan, I'm going to say Rose Namajunas wins the belt here in around October. Around fall next year, Rose Namajunas is going to become your women's strawweight champion. Guys, that's my prediction. Now, if you're looking for more of a value pick, I was scrolling down the list here. And how can you not like Mackenzie Dern here at value at plus 4,000 odds? Guys, I know Mackenzie Dern just lost to Zhao Nanyan. She's still a beast. She's still an animal. I think these odds are almost a steal. That could very well happen. Mackenzie Dern could very well be your champion of that women's strawweight division by the end of 2023. But my money's on Rose Namajunas. She's going to be your champion come December 31st, 2023. Now, moving on along here, the women's flyweight division. To me, there's not a lot of competition here. Now, Shevchenko is the champion of that division, but she did just have a very, very close fight to Taila Santos a couple months ago. Shevchenko won that by split decision. I think that was probably one of, if not her biggest test as a champion. But guys, at the end of 2023, Valentina Shevchenko is still going to be your champion. She's sitting there at minus 275 odds. Now, you're not going to make a lot of money on that. I don't like this. I don't like to place future bets with negative odds. It doesn't make sense for me. I think it's more of a risk, to be honest. So, guys, my value pick is none other than Taila Santos. Just gave Shevchenko a run for her money. In my opinion, I think she knows how to beat Shevchenko. So if you're looking for a little bit of a value pick there, throw some money on Tyler Santos. It's not a bad pick. It's very possible. Obviously, Chu Kagan's up there. I think she's getting a little older. Manon Fiorot, I'm not sold on yet. If you're looking at these odds here, I think Tyler Santos is probably your best value bet there. But Valentina Shevchenko is going to be your champion at the end of 2023. Now that is it here. As you could see, that is it for the women's betting on DraftKings. So obviously I can't pull that up for you guys, but I'm going to still give you guys my predictions. I don't have odds on these, obviously. And I think this is a big part. I think a reason why you cannot bet on this is because of Amanda Nunes. Right. So the women's bantamweight division, Amanda Nunes is your champion. There's a lot of speculation she might be done. So I think until it's confirmed she's done, or until it's confirmed she's going to get another fight, that betting, it's not going to open until that decision's definite. And if she does not retire, Amanda Nunes is going to be your women's bantamweight and featherweight champion at the end of 2023. Guys, it's nobody can compete with her. Nobody can compete with her. Juliana Pena only won because that fight with Amanda Nunes, it looked like Amanda Nunes was lost. It looked like she didn't care. Juliana Pena, landed some lucky hits, and as you could see, Pena got dominated in their next fight. Amanda Nunes, she's going to be your champion at the end of 2023. Now, what I see as a value pick, obviously I don't know the odds, but if Amanda Nunes does indeed retire, I really, really, really like Ketlin Vieira. I think she's a great, great pick, probably a value pick. I'm assuming that Julia Pena will be favored. So you're going to get Ketlin Vieira for some value. So once that opens up, if Amanda Nunes does retire, guys, I love Ketlin Vieira as a value pick. Now, another interesting thing with this women's bantamweight division is there's not a lot of action going on. There's only one fight in the top 15 that's booked right now. Again, I think it's a lot due to Amanda Nunes. I don't know if she's going to fight again. After that loss to Pena, I think she might retire as the champion, because she doesn't want to lose and then retire as not the champion. So if I had to put my money on it, I think Amanda Nunes is going to retire. But if she doesn't, she's going to be your champion of the featherweight and bantamweight women's divisions at the end of 2023. Now, another one, which I'm really not sure why it's not the odds aren't open here. And I'm just going to scroll down just to double check myself here. Yeah. So men's flyweight. I'm not sure why this slip isn't open yet. But with that being said, as I did with Amanda Nunes, I'm going to give you guys my pick. Your champion at the end of 2023 for the men's flyweight division is going to be Brandon Moreno. It's going to be Brandon Moreno, the first Mexican-born UFC champ. He's going to upset Davison Figueiredo in January in Brazil. It's going to happen. Because guess what, guys? UFC wants to get international. Once Brandon Moreno wins that, guess what? They're going to fight again. They're going to fight for a fifth time. I don't know what that's called. The fourth time's a quadrilogy. I'm not quite sure what a fifth fight would be. A pentrilogy? I'm not sure. But they're going to fight for a fifth time. And if they want to get international, they're going to fight in Mexico. That's my prediction for 2023. UFC has a pay-per-view in Mexico. And Brandon Moreno, as your champion, is going to beat Davison Figueiredo yet again. And he's going to be your champion at the end of 2023. Guys, I'm sure you can get Brandon Moreno for some value here because I'm almost positive Davison Figueiredo is going to be the favorite whenever that opens up. But I'm throwing my money on Brandon Moreno to be your flyweight champion at the end of 2023. Now moving on to my favorite division here. We got the men's bantamweight division. And this is a very, very exciting division. Guys, if you don't know, bantamweight division is absolutely stacked. It's definitely a division you guys are going to want to keep your eye on. And I got a bold, very, very bold prediction for you guys for this future bantamweight champion. And it's a value pick, but it's also my favorite pick. It's none other than my boy, Sugar Show, Sean O'Malley. Guys, he's going to be your champion at the end of 2023. I'm going to tell you why. October 22nd, what's today? The 10th. You got 12 days till the stacked card, but October 22nd, Sean O'Malley is going to shock the world, and he's going to beat Peter Yan. It's going to happen. Aljamain Sterling is going to beat TJ Dillashaw. That's going to happen. Now, a lot of people, I think I even said, if whoever wins the O'Malley versus Yan fight is going to get a shot at the belt. I don't think that's going to happen anymore. When O'Malley beats Yan, Sean O'Malley's going to get a rematch against Marlon Vera next year, probably mid next year, early to mid next year. O'Malley's going to beat Marlon Vera. And then mid to late 2023, Sean O'Malley's going to beat Aljamain Sterling and become the men's bantamweight division champion at the end of 2023. A lot of people don't realize in this division, Sean O'Malley has a huge height advantage. He's a long, lengthy guy. Now, I'm not saying he's perfect, but if he could tack his game up a little bit, he's going to be able to keep all these threats at bay. Aljamain Sterling, his wrestling, he's going to be able to keep Aljamain Sterling at bay. You know, Dvalishvili, he's going to be able to keep him at bay. Now, the only tough fight there is Marlon Vera. If Sean O'Malley can get past him, which I think he does, he's going to fight Aljo for the belt, and he's going to win because he's going to be able to utilize his length. Sean O'Malley, your champion and value pick to end the year as the men's bantamweight division champ. Guys, that's probably my favorite bet. And that at plus 2,800 odds, that value is almost unbeatable. That's my favorite futures bet right now. Obviously, that's barring an injury. You hate to see it, but it does happen. Sean O'Malley, value bet, men's bantamweight division. Love, love, love that division. Now, another fun division. You know, we got names like Triple C here. We got Henry Cejudo. We got Max Holloway, Calvin Cutter, Arnold Allen, Brian Ortega, Yair Rodriguez, Josh Emmett. Guys, none of these guys are going to be able to beat the pound-for-pound king, the current champion of the featherweight division, Alex Volkanovski, is going to be your champion come the end of 2023. Volkanovski continues to up his level in his game, and his next fight defending his belt is most likely going to be in Australia in February. Volkanovski's not losing the belt in Australia. It's not going to happen. Is he going to fight again at the end of the year? Maybe. If he does, I don't know. There's a little bit of talk of Cejudo coming back. I think Volkanovski beats Cejudo. So Volkanovski, love, love, love it. Minus 165 to end the year's champ. Now, I do unfortunately have a value pick, and I say unfortunately because I am a Volkanovski fan. But I do have a value pick for this division. And it's none other than the name right next to him, Yair Rodriguez. I think Rodriguez poses the biggest threat in this division to Volkanovski. And this is most likely who he's going to fight come February. And it's tough because if Volkanovski takes on Rodriguez, I believe it or not, and you could think I'm crazy for saying this, I actually like Rodriguez in that matchup. I really do. But like I said, Volkanovski's not losing the belt in Australia. It's not going to happen. It's his home soil. He's been begging and begging to fight in Australia. The UFC most likely did this for him. He's not losing the belt. Volkanovski's your champ at the end of 2023. Done deal. Put the money on it. Minus 165 is not bad odds. Now, to continue with the man I just named, guys, this is bold because it's not even a guarantee it's going to happen. But I absolutely love this. Volkanovski is going to be a double champion at the end of 2023. He's going to win that lightweight championship belt against Charles Oliveira. Now, again, that this fight also takes place the 22nd, Oliveira versus Makhachev. To be honest, I know Islam Makhachev is trained by Khabib, and a lot of people are saying he's a even better wrestler than Khabib. I cannot buy into the hype yet. I can't, and I tend to get suckered into it sometimes, but I just cannot buy into the hype yet. I'm not saying he's not that good. I'm just saying I cannot buy into it. But guess what, guys? And this is why I'm not going to buy into it. Charles Oliveira is going to beat him on the 22nd. A lot of people are saying Charles Oliveira is scared. No, he's not. He's in Abu Dhabi right now, I think. If not, he's going there very soon. Charles Oliveira is going to beat him. And I'm not a Charles Oliveira fan, but guess what? I'm cheering for him. I'm cheering for Oliveira. He should be the champ right now. As much as I hate him, he should be the champ right now. Missing that by half a pound, it sucks. He should be the champ. But he's going to be. He's going to beat Islam Makhachev. And guess what, guys? I said I'm not sure if Volkanovski is going to fight later in the year. But if he does, it's going to be this fight. It's going to be Charles Oliveira versus Alexander Volkanovski. Volkanovski is going to beat Charles Oliveira. A lot of people are scared of Oliveira's wrestling. Well, guess what? Volkanovski is not going to let him touch him. Volkanovski is a pest. Volkanovski is somebody that Charles Oliveira hasn't had to deal with yet. Thinking of the names that he's fought, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler. These guys aren't pests. They're brutes. Charles Oliveira hasn't had to deal with a pest yet. Somebody so quick as Volkanovski. Somebody so nimble as Volkanovski. Volkanovski wins that fight. This is if he moves up to lightweight and becomes to eventually become a double champ there. Obviously not guaranteed, risky pick. But I absolutely love the value at plus 550 there for Volkanovski. I wish you could parlay that. Because I don't think you can, unfortunately, you can't parlay these picks, which kind of stink. I know that's super risky because I would hate to place a futures bet in a parlay and lose one leg. But I'm just thinking here about the odds, and it would just be absolutely incredible if you can parlay all of these because you'd win. If you're right, you'd win a ridiculous amount of money. But regardless of that, moving on here to the welterweight division, probably my second favorite division. And guys, I do have a value pick here. But the same with Sean O'Malley. My value pick is my favorite pick. And guys, I'm a little biased here, but hear me out. Sean Brady, your UFC welterweight champion by the end of 2023. The Philly boy, Sean Brady, is going to be your champ. Now, you're going to sit there and you're going to call me crazy, and I completely see where you're coming from. I am a little biased here. And this is a very bold prediction. Apparently, it's less bold than Sean O'Malley, which doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, Sean Brady's going to beat Bilal Muhammad again on that October 22nd card. I cannot emphasize how much you guys need to tune in on October 22nd to the UFC. That card is absolutely stacked. How many fights have I announced on that card just in this futures champions bet? It's that October 22nd card in Abu Dhabi is absolutely stacked. But as I was saying, Sean Brady is going to beat Bilal Muhammad on the 22nd. Now, I'm a little scared because Khabib is cornering Bilal Muhammad in that fight. But I think Sean Brady's going to pull it out. He's not going to get a shot at the belt yet. But Edwards is going to beat Usman again in March. And then after that fight, maybe April, Brady's going to get either Colby Covington if he comes back or Gilbert Burns. One of the top guys. I don't really like a Sean Brady Gilbert Burns fight. I like a Colby Covington Sean Brady fight a little bit more, but Sean Brady's going to have to fight one more top guy. And looking at the rankings, there's not really much else there for him to go off if he beats Bilal. So Brady's going to beat either Colby or Gilbert Burns. And then we're looking at probably a December fight. Sean Brady versus Leon Edwards for the belt. Sean Brady wins. Now, a big if here. If Chimaev does not stay in this division and he moves up to middleweight, this is the pick. If Chimaev does stay in this division, which I don't think he is, but if he does, obviously you could see there he's sitting at a plus 200 as your second favorite. Chimaev's going to be your champion. As much as he doesn't deserve, well, it's tough to say he doesn't deserve it, but what he showed last time with his weight cut really just tossed me the wrong way. But Chimaev, if he stays in this division, is going to be your champ. I don't think there's really anybody that can compete with him other than Usman, but Usman's probably not going to be your champion. I think Edwards is. But guys, my money's on Sean Brady because I think Chimaev's moving up to middleweight. Now, speaking of middleweight, as you can see, Chimaev's also the second favorite here, sitting at plus 300. And this is another one. You know what? To be honest, this division, I see a little bit of disrespect in these odds. I see. Actually, you know what? I didn't even realize that. I see a lot of disrespect because I see Bo Nichols sitting there at a plus 900 above people like now. Not that I like him, but Nasruddin Imavov, Jared Cannonier, Sean Strickland. Not that I like these guys, but I don't think Bo Nichols should be higher than them, and that's substantially higher than them. But anyway, my pick here is also respected, sitting there as the fourth favorite, Robert Whittaker. Guys, he's going to be your champion at the end of 2023 in that middleweight division. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly how it's going to happen because this is a very interesting division to me, especially if Hamzat moves up there. So Adesanya is going to beat Alex Pereira in November. It's going to happen. A lot of people are going to put money on Pereira, but you're going to waste your money. And it's going to come around the summer 2023. Whittaker is going to beat Adesanya. Now, Adesanya, as of now, is Whittaker's kryptonite. He is. But first fight, Whittaker got knocked out by him. Second fight, Whittaker loses by decision. You know what that means? He's moving up. Got knocked out, lost by decision. It's his time to win. This time, he fights Adesanya. He's going to win. But he's also going to have to defend his belt at the end of 2023. It's not going to be his only fight. And the person he's going to have to defend that belt against is none other than Khamzat Chimaev. And like I said before, I think Robert Whittaker is Khamzat Chimaev's worst nightmare. Chimaev is going to lose that fight. Robert Whittaker is going to be your champion of that middleweight division at the end of 2023. Guys, plus 700 odds. I absolutely love it. And that is also a value pick there and a favorite pick. Now, as I like to say, moving on to the big boys here. Another set of interesting odds here. Your favorite is sitting at a plus 110, and that's who I am taking. Yuri Prochazka. He's going to stay the champion for the entire year. I don't really see anybody that can compete. I know Glover Teixeira almost won that fight. He probably would have won that fight. But I don't think Prochazka is going to be tested by him once they fight again. I think in December that's booked for. I think Prochazka is going to win that second fight easily, especially by those odds. Teixeira sitting at plus 950. The only name I really see here that can challenge him is Magomed Ankalaev. I don't think he's going to win. I think Prochazka is going to defend his belt against Ankalaev probably mid to late 2023. But I do have a value pick here, and I don't love this value pick, but I feel like it's kind of disrespect to not mention it. And that's Jan Blachowicz at plus 600. I think that's a pretty good value pick there. Obviously, he was the champion. He did lose to Teixeira, and then obviously Teixeira lost to Prochazka. But I do like the value in this. It's got potential. I think Blachowicz needs to win probably one more fight before he gets the chance. And I don't know who he would fight. Maybe Ankalaev. I'm not sure. But I do like Jan Blachowicz there at a plus 600. Sorry, I took that away. Now moving on to the division that I've told you the future champ of this division many times. If you guys watched, throughout these weeks, our first couple weeks here at First, I've mentioned this many times, especially since the UFC Paris card. Guys, Cyril Gane is going to be your champion of that heavyweight division in 2023. It's going to happen. I think he beat Francis Ngannou. I really do. I truly believe that Gane is your champion. He should be your champion right now. But really, my focus isn't on Gane here. He is my pick. He is my favorite pick to win this bet here of 2023 Futures Champions. But a name here that's really interesting is Jon Jones. Guys, I'm so excited to see Jon Jones fight again, especially in this heavyweight division, because I've seen pictures of this man, and he's absolutely a tank. He's an absolute unit. It's going to be really fun to watch Jon Jones fight again in this heavyweight division. And a lot of people are saying that his fight back is going to be against Stipe Miocic, and it probably is. Jon Jones probably wins, which brings up an interesting point: is if Jon Jones gets one win against Miocic in his first fight back to the UFC, does that warrant a title fight? And it's tough to say. If I was the UFC, I would say yeah. I think it does. I want to lean no, but I think it does. Just looking at these names here, yeah, because you got to think if McGregor comes back, he wins one fight, he's probably in the title talk. So Jon Jones, probably one of the best fighters ever, regardless of the PEDs. Yeah, I think that does warrant a title fight. So maybe Cyril Gane defends his belt against Jon Jones at the end of 2023. But guys, I'm sticking with Gane there. I do think Gane is an absolute beast. I love his game. He's multi-dimensional in that heavyweight division, which you don't really see. Very agile for a big man. His groundwork is nice. He's got heavy hands. He's got it all. He's a complete, he's the whole package as a fighter. And I think, like I said, I think he should currently be your champion. I think he beat Ngannou. But guys, I do have a value pick, and it's none other than the last guy he fought, Tai Tuivasa. How can I not give a shout out to Tuivasa here, sitting at a plus 1,600 there? Tuivasa in his fight with Gane proved that he can go with the best of the best. Guys, he almost knocked Gane out. He sat Gane down for a second. How can you not talk about him? And to be honest, how can you put Miocic above him? Not right now. Not when you haven't seen Miocic fight in a while. Tai Tuivasa, I love the value there. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. But hey, if you got $5 or you got $10 you want to throw on something random, guys, Tuivasa plus 1,600 is absolutely amazing. But you never know. Guys, 2023 is going to be an excellent year. I cannot wait for 2023, especially with all these rumors about these international fights. All these international fights usually are awesome. I think of all the fight nights in England. I think of recently the fight night in Paris was absolutely awesome. And we're starting off in January in Brazil for the quadrilogy fight. 2023 is going to start with a bang. And I cannot wait. But we have a lot of good fights coming up to end 2022. And guys, that starts October 22nd. But before that, we do have a fight night. Finally, the withdrawal is finally starting to cease. We do have a fight night. It's a preview for this coming weekend. Guys, that show is going to be on Wednesday night. Please do not miss it, guys. And thank you as always for watching. And as always here, we're streaming on DSM Media's YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Guys, please don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, or follow button at the bottom of this video. Guys, it'd be much appreciated. Guys, we got a show for you Wednesday night. Please tune in. Catch you guys on